Like, I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to think of at the moment. It's like, at the moment, I'm thinking about like shit, like all the fights and shit I've been through. Well, not like the fight, but like bad shit that's happened to me like, over the past years. I've just been thinking like, all of that is because I've had like friends who like they say they're my friends, but in actuality they're just douchebags, man. Like, I don't know, like I've had so many friends that just treat me like shit, and I let them get away with that type of shit. That's what like I think about at the moment. Like, I'm trying to think, like it's probably because like where I live and shit. It's like there is a lot of people who are fucking weird around here. It's like I actually mean that. Like there's so many weird people. It's like it's near Blackpool, near Fleetwood area. And honestly, it's a lot rougher than it looks. Like there's just so many shitty people around here. And like it's like the time when me and Matty went out. I think it was like a week ago. And we walked past the park area near Knot End. And we were just like swinging on the swings and shit, just talking. And there's this random guy at the bus stop. And he was just stood there. I saw him like my sort of like vision, just in the like the dark area of the bus stop. And then he chucked a beer can at me and Matty near the park area, near the concrete. We hear like a big thud of the can. And me and Matty were like, what the fuck is this guy like? Is he fucking mental or some shit? And this guy was like, he put his hands up like this. And he was like, what? Something like, he shouted something like, what? And then he looked near the road. Like, me and Matty were alright. We were just like, this guy isn't going to come near us. There's two of us. And there's him. And he's probably drunk. But then this fucking car came out. And it looked like there was like 3 guys in there, 5 guys in there. Some shit like that. And me and Matty were like, fuck that shit. We ain't staying here. Like, that's what I'm training for at the moment. It's like, let's say you get into a situation where there's like 5 fucking guys and they all want to beat the shit out of you. Like, I've had that a lot throughout my life. Like, I've had like lots of people that just want to start fights and shit. So I remember being friends with one guy, and he used to take me out to like Fleetwood and all that near those areas. And he was alright, he wasn't a bad guy, but he was like one of those friends who just used you, because let's say he was like of small stature, and I was a big guy, I was sort of like bigger than him, and I could, fight and shit. So he used me. And he took me out to Fleetwood and all that, and I thought it was fun, it was pretty fun. Well, then he got near the football bits, like football stadium, and we used to watch football all the time. So we watched football and shit, and then we got out, and then like literally every time we did that, it would get into these situations where, I don't know, you get into like fucking arguments with people. And I was like fucking nervous. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? He was like such a little guy. But he started arguments with tons of people, and I was like, this is dumb. This is fucking ludicrous, man. Like, I remember one time, he was like getting angry and shit, and he was over like near the train station. He was near the tram area, near, I think it's Fleetwood. Yeah, it was near Fleetwood. He was near the tram area. So he was there, and then he was getting angry because this friend of his was like not being friendly or something. He got angry at that shit, and I was just there, just stood in the middle of this. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So this friend of mine, a small friend, he started getting angry. He started punching the wall, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So like that happened, and this friend he was having a go at. I looked at like my peripheral vision. I looked at my fucking vision, and then I saw that guy who he was having a go at getting his fucking ass kicked in the fucking corner of the tram by 3 guys who he was talking to. And I was like, look mate, this is your friend and he's getting the shit kicked out of him. So I ran over and there was this guy in my fucking way. So I got him out of my way. And then the guy who was beating him up, I pushed him on the side of the railing. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And he just looked at me and ran away. And then he ran onto the fucking tram. I was like, what the fuck? And then this friend of mine, this small friend, he didn't do shit. He just stood there, started punching a wall while his friend was getting the shit kicked out of him. And I was like, what the fuck? What type of shit is that? Your friend's getting the fucking shit beaten out of him. You're just fucking there getting angry at him. Man, that pisses me off so much. I think back to that and it's just such a shit fucking story. Pisses me off. So yeah, back to the story when me and Matty were at the park. The guy chucked the beer can and his friends came over in like this car and me and Matty were like, fuck that shit, we're getting the fuck out of here. So me and Matty jumped over the fence near the park area and we just like slowly like walked towards like the fucking end of the park lane. And we saw him get out of the car and shit. Me and Matty were like, fuck that, you know. Fuck that shit. And that's just like an example of like for what I train for, like self-defense. It's like you get into fights but you know when not to get into fights. And that's the most important thing you should learn. It's like if you know you're outnumbered and you know that you can't take on these people, don't fucking get involved in it because it's not going to work in your favour. Like, especially if you're a little guy or a guy who isn't particularly strong. It's like, I wasn't going to stand there and fucking stay at the park and let these guys beat the shit out of me and Matt. Like, that would have been fucking scary, but again, that's the whole point about self-defense. You know when not to fucking start shit. So, in result, you just walk away. And if, let's say they came out and started running towards us, you fucking run. Just get the fuck out of there, man. It's like, don't stand there and expect to box your way out of it, because it's not going to work. You know, you can't just, I don't know, fucking pick up a weapon and be like, oh, let's fucking fight and shit. They'll beat the fuck out of you. There's 5 of them. Let's say they had fucking knives. I imagine 5 guys with knives coming at you. Fuck that shit, but yeah, shit like that's just been on my mind lately. Just fucking fights and all that, but yeah. I might set out to my granddad's in a minute, but I don't know, it's just been at the corner of my mind and I just can't stop thinking about that. Especially the story of the tram with my little friend who I don't really talk to anymore, but fuck it. I'm gonna go and train now, but that's the problem with me. Like, I get caught up thinking about things too much, and it just blocks your memory, you know. But fuck it. Alright, I'm gonna go now. Probably take my dog, do some fucking heavy bag drills. Probably might do the garden, not my granddad's, but yeah. Keep you guys posted. Bye bye. It's like you're saying, like, you know, when you're at the gym and then like you do sparring sessions with your partners and shit, and when you've done all that, you get home. What do you do then? Do you rest? I say no, not really. You come home and then you practice more. You know, I call it like, it's called moments of solitude, where you train with your friends, train with your, I don't know, your family or whatever. You know, you have good times. And there's times where you gotta be by yourself, and there's, you know, you gotta concentrate on yourself. You gotta go through your routines and your techniques over and over again. Go through go through your shit over and over again, just constantly. And just have a heart of a warrior, man. It's like every second can be a fucking battle, you know. Any second, anyone can come out. I want to fight you, you know. You gotta be ready for that. So when you come home from the gym and you've done your 5 hours of training, do another hour, you know. Just put in that extra hour, and damn, you will do a fucking good day. You know, you're basically training like a fucking MMA fighter. But I doubt I'll ever be on that level. I doubt I'll ever will be in a cage, but just for life, basically. Like, train hard, and in the actual fight that you're ever in the streets, in a cage, in a ring, wherever you're at, and you'll just succeed. You know, train hard, and then the actual fight will be easy as fuck. So, that's what I say. But there's always gonna be times when you get hit. You know, you get smacked in the face when you're sparring and shit. You just gotta be ready for that. You gotta take the hits to learn, you know, not to take the hits anymore. You know, you got to learn to evade the hits and slip a hit in yourself, you know. The only thing I've eaten is since, the last time I ate was since 6. And now it's around 1. So that's what I try and do. That's a good sign. Like, if your meals are really spaced out, like I say, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's about 7 hours. 7 hours between meals. Because when I was like, I think it was last year, I was on sort of like a calorie surplus, and you know, I was bulking and shit, trying to get bigger muscle mass, and I hated it. It wasn't for me. It's like last year I was around 160 pounds, and this year I'm 182 pounds. So I'm a hard gainer. It takes me a long time to fucking gain muscle mass, but everyone asks me like, Joe, how come you gain muscle mass so like fast? And it's because I work hard, you know, and I rest properly. And like, a lot of people ask me like I think Matty asked me. He asked like, should you have rest days? And I said no. I don't think rest days are a great idea, because like some people, they have one rest day throughout the week, and then as they're working out, they start to develop it into 2 rest days a week, and they're saying, oh, I'll have two rest days a week, and then suddenly, oh, I might have 3 rest days a week, and then fucking 4 rest days a week, and it's like, mate, that's what happens to a lot of people. And a lot of people, like, when it gets towards Christmas or a holiday, or when they have like a holiday at school or college or work, you know, they end up just chilling out and not working out, and that's not really a great thing to do. You know, you have to constantly be working out. You know, you have to have that warrior mindset where it's just constant, lodged inside your brain. You know, it's integrated inside your soul, basically. And you just gotta have that. And I've lost it. Like, when it was Christmas, I just slagged off. And that's not good. But hopefully this year will be a better year for training. Because when I was on the fucking bulking program, it's like, when I was on the bulking program, I ate too much. Because, you know, like you say, you're bulking, you eat more calories. Well, my initial plan was to eat more protein and eat more carbohydrates. But then carbohydrates make you really hungry. It's like, carbohydrates make you eat like every fucking 3 hours. So I was eating every 3 hours, and I was eating like fucking cheese and fatty shit, and I was saying, oh, this fatty shit's good for you, and you just gotta burn it off. It's really hard to burn off shit. You know, you have to be constantly hardwired to think, if I eat this, is this gonna be good for me? Because I doubt it will. You know, if it's a cheese lasagna, fucking tons of cheese on top, full of fat, is that good for you? No. When you're on a bulking diet, you have to think what's good for you still. You can't just eat random calories and expect not to build fat. What happened with the bulking thing was, I built a lot of fat, and then when I built a lot of fat, it was just harder for me to do martial arts, and cardio went off. And I kept making excuses like, oh, I'm bulking. And I did it for like 6 months, and I was just saying, oh, I'm bulking. Man, that's just silly. That's a bad phase to get in, but hopefully it'll get better. I've got better over the months. It's like last year, around I think it was October. Yeah, it was October. That's when my training started to get back again, and I started to lose a lot of fat because I put so much fat on, and it felt so good. It's like seeing the abdominals again. It's like when you feel the abdominals again. That's a good sign. So yeah, I'll end the video here.